Okay,
All
welcome
right.
everybody. We are in episode number one. I'm sitting here with Pete
All right.
Thomas. If some of you have watched some of our Metal Monday, this is going to be highlighting catalytic converter markets, the PGMs. We're going to call it Cat's Corner.
Oh,
We're going
cool.
to try to do a weekly update. I'll most likely bring some of our other team members in to talk with you as well, Pete, and we'll probably bring in some other experts. So, Pete, can you give our viewers and myself a little insight what the PGMs are doing right now?
This is a very, very interesting time, and I'm very flattered to be invited to do number one. Look at guys pushing gears here, jamming gears, driving rigs, delivering product, delivering AutoCADs, using your new system, which is being shipped by boxes, which I happen to think is fantastic. All of that, they want to know what their product's going to cost. Is it going down in the future? We've seen some pressure recently. And so what I'm going to do is fill you in. Look at anywhere from 70 to 87% of the platinum out there is from South Africa. I happen to have been friends and am friends with the group there in Impala and a number of other places. So I have a good finger on the pulse, which is why Nick gave me a shout. He said, hey, what's going on with the fundamentals, with the ore that's being crushed, with the products that's being moved out to make AutoCADs work?
So
So
70, just so I understand, so 70 to 80% of the new platinum, palladium, rhodium are coming out of African mines.
that is correct.
Okay,
Yep,
got it.
that is correct. The other, of course, is Nornickel, which is Russia, as we all know, and that's your other real big supplier. And everyone else should really be considered tributaries, as they're called, which is not a full-blown mine, is a slower production.
What is the, do you have a number on how much the scrap catalytic converters make up for the market? Is it just
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you, the numbers are incredibly significant. What you guys are doing is so critical to this country, and it is so overlooked. I've seen numbers as high as 30% of consumption comes from recycling, and that includes copper, by the way.
okay?
Yeah.
So, so do you got an outlook on where the PGMs are going to go? I know it's hard to predict, but are you thinking it's going to
Well,
stay sideways for a while? Are we going to see some ups? Are we going to see some downs? What are you thinking?
well,
Like,
we're always going to see ups and downs. That's there's no. I mean, it's a trading market, but right now, what's holding this market up is a lot of the mines are selling reserves, and you can only sell reserves for so long, and then all of a sudden there ain't none, as we say.
yeah.
So we're going to see a little bit of chopping around, and then it's going to be a skyrocket, straight up, in my opinion, if they don't get these mines working. And I could tell you. Let me give you an example. I'm talking to a guy in South Africa, and he goes, "Oh, wait a minute, I got a ding here." He goes, "Oh, we're having a blackout," and I said, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Oh, well, the government created some software for us for when we're going to have a blackout." I go, "They created an app so that you would know when you're not going to be working." He said, "Yeah." I go, "Why don't they fix it?" He goes, "Oh, it's been in committee for 2 or 3 years. They're getting close." So last week, which is why it's such a critical week, they said that they're going to create 50 megawatt solar base and a 250 megawatt wind base. So now that it took them 3 years to decide they were going to do this, now they're going to start to do it. And they're also, and this is important, they're also going to do what China's doing, which is start shifting over to hydrogen powered trucks. But oh, by the way, you have to use a lot of platinum and palladium both when you shift over to hydrogen and the creation of hydrogen. When you start cracking atoms to get the O2 and the H off, you need to use PGMs. So it's a yin and a yang. They're going to have more power, but they're going to be releasing a little less platinum palladium. Secondly, the riots that are taking place, as I have it, the trucks that are going to the Durban port, which is whereas a lot of the unrefined product goes and then is shipped out, could be closed. We're waiting to get a solid word on that. But right now, it appears that the issue from the mass ridings has closed the retail industry, the industrial sites, rail and ports, as well as telecommunications. So you have no way of calling someone to tell them they even have a load coming or what your estimates are. Right now, today, deaths are right around 212 people. So human beings are being killed during these riots, and it's just a mess. And you guys that are running PGMs, to answer directly, now that you have a little of a wider brush as to what's going on from production, I would not be selling product. I would be buying cats on dips, and I would be aggressively a buyer, because I think that we're getting very close to a bottom in here. Now, I'm not a trader, I'm a hedger. I buy for consumption and usage. And if I was a COO of, let's say, Fram, and I was making those little diodes that go on spark plugs, I saw a nice break, I'd be a buyer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that kind of tells us, and we'll keep kind of getting into some of this and sharing more info with our customers.
Absolutely.
And getting people a little more insight of the PGM world. Well, Pete, let's do this again in a week. Okay.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And listen, guys, stay tuned. These guys put out a great show, and they have a lot of information in them, and hopefully to make your business a little stronger.
Appreciate that, Pete. Thanks.
All right.